Okay. All right. So we are now on number 6, the ruling planet, which is Venus. Okay, it's ruled by Lakshmi Ma. Okay, so it's the ruler is Lakshmi Mata, and let's keep going. The number combinations are 0, 6, 15, and 24. And 6 and 1 is very good in business. Now, again, you would understand what I mean by that because we've gone over that. 6 and 1, why? Right? Why? So we've got Venus, which is a love planet. Okay, very loving, very charismatic. Venus loves luxury. So if you watch Lucifer, you will understand. If you watch that show Lucifer, you will understand. It loves luxury and stuff like that, right? So number one, why? Because leadership. You've watched
Yeah.
Sapna,
No,
you've watched Lucifer?
no, yes, I watched Lucifer, but I just wanted to add about this Lakshmi. And when you said love, so in
Yeah,
when we pranic healing, we are taught that if there is no love, there is no Lakshmi. So that's why Lord Vishnu is the god of love. That's why Lakshmi is in his charan. So that is one anecdote.
correct.
Just
Correct, 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 correct.
Also,
Right.
last the choice is number 15, yeah? Number 6.
So,
Must
yeah, so the number combinations are 0, 6, 15, and 24. Okay. And then we'll move on to 6 and 2. 6 and 2 is below average. Now, why? Is because 2 is again moody. Okay, they may have relationship issues. It's they're not the best in career because they've got family, and then they've got their moodiness, right? They're very good looking. Okay, all around very good looking because they've got two, which they've got the Chandrama, very charismatic, and then they've got six, which is Venus, very another charismatic. Okay, some of the traits of this is depression, diabetes, anxiety, panic attacks. These are some of the things that may be you may see in a 6 and 2. Okay, the good professions for them is restaurant, casino, jewelry, gold, anything to do with fashion. Okay, art and craft, right? They're very talented, and they can multitask very easily. Okay, these individuals receive family support and support from the opposite sex. What does that mean, opposite sex? So if you're a female, a male would be very supportive to you, or vice versa. Okay, so they will find a lot of support from that. And then 6 and 3 is considered below average for a few reasons, mainly because of health issues, and some family relationship issues. But otherwise, they're very good in education. They would do very well in sales and marketing, again, occult science, because of number 3, right? Education, again, because of number 3. They have the ability to do really well in their professional life. Okay, they need to pay attention to their health. Why? Again, 6 and 3, they're not good friends, right? They're looking against each other, right? So why do they have issues with their health? Like I mentioned before, that some numbers like 8 and 1, right? 8 and 1, they're still father son at the end of the day, correct? So they will still have some good traits because they're still in the same from the same house, right? But they will have some issues. Now, what are the issues? Because father or son, they didn't agree, but he still lived in the kingdom at some point, right? He still considered son, Shani Bhagwan is still considered the son of Surya Bhagwan, correct? So, which is the sun, right? Shani is Saturn, and Surya is sun, right? So, at the end of the day, he's still considered the sun, right? So he still has that power and the trait of the family, correct? But there are some issues that they face. What were the issues? They were having family fights, correct? So same thing when you look at 6 and 3. Hmm? Why 6 and 3? Six is Venus. Venus was is the god, is the guru of the lower beings, and Jupiter is the guru of the higher beings. Even though Jupiter came to Venus to learn some stuff, they still don't agree, right? But they do have some similar, because Jupiter did learn from Venus. So it's whenever we say that, you should keep certain people, they say keep your guru the same. Why? Because you learn from that guru, and that guru gets to know you and understand you and is able to teach you accordingly, right? So yes, they do have similarities and they will work together, but then some things will suffer. Okay, and what is it that suffers? The health will suffer. Okay, possibly health, possibly relationship issues, stuff like that. Yeah, go ahead, Hema.
Okay, when we are in this topic now, some clarification. When we
Yeah.
sometimes calculate either the name numerology or the destination number, it comes to 36. Then we put a 9 there. So is that number 36 of any importance, or is the number 9 of that
Yes.
importance?
It is of importance. It is of very much importance. So we will get to that
Mhm.
when it comes to numbers, because yes, those numbers are very important. So when I look at names or certain things, I will say, okay, 37 is a very good number, right? So yes, 36. If you have that and it comes to a 9, sometimes you will find that the 3 and 6 traits, they do have some issues as well. Okay, so numbers, you gotta look at everything when you're looking at the numbers, every bit of it. Even when you're doing um mobile numbers as well. Okay, if you have a 3 and 6 together,
Yeah.
right, then you see there will be certain traits, and we'll get to mobile numbers. I know each one of you, whoever I've spoken to and done some readings for you, I always give you a little tidbit that is not in the class. So I think we should have one session where I've given you a little tidbit to share with everybody, because I can't remember. Different people have got different things that, like the other day I was talking um to Rita. So I gave her a little tidbit about her cell phone, because that is where she needed to look at it and probably change it if she wanted to. I don't always give, it's like having a going to a naturopath or a doctor, and they say, okay, you need to have iron and you need to have magnesium and you need to, now it's your choice. Do you really want to have iron and magnesium to help you with your health? That is something you need to decide, right? You get solutions, you get these solutions given to you, but are you willing to take them? You understand? So then what is it that you want to change in your life? So yes, we do need to look at those do give us traits. Those give us big clues and big information. Okay, so we will get to that when not in this level though. Okay. Okay, so 6 and 3, we've gone through that. Health issues, family, and relationship issues. Okay, 6 and 4 is a good combination. Okay, they would be very good again. AI, media, law and order. They would do very good in lawyer because of number 4. Okay, personal life is a little challenge because of number 4 again. Okay, Jugadu, right? Yeah. So Hema, go ahead, ask.
Sorry, Sapna, if you've done Master Choice, great. Have you done Master Choice? Great. Any one of you?
Why have I not done?
He's well, 15th August 1952. I think to my I got 6 and 4, personality 6 and destination 4, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm, okay. And I don't
And
know
he
much about him, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you what his like what it
Six and
looks like.
four. He's 6 and 4.
and he doesn't have a number 7 in his grade, right? The name
There,
comes to number 137. If I say Chua Kok Sweet comes to 1.
37. So 37 is
The
Om,
name.
right? We
Yeah,
had spoken
that's
about
the
that.
name.
Om.
There's
Yeah.
no 7 in his grade.
Mhm. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
no. I'm not his grip, but I don't see any 7 in his. great. Yeah.
1964. Is it?
1950, 1952, 15th August 1952.
1952. Okay, I'll look at it later, right? He's a six. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
and you
a
said
six
he's a
four. Yeah.
four.
And his name comes to one, yeah? Choa Koksui comes to one. 37.
That's why he was a ruler, no? King.
Yeah, yeah.
Though I mean, obviously he's not a king, but then he had the power of number one, right? In
His,
his name,
Hmm.
but his
right?
personal life was little challenging, I guess, because he was always on the move.
So his personal life did have a challenge. Okay. So there you go. So that is true. Because if he was always on the move, then something had to give, right? So maybe his
His
personal life
marriage,
did have.
yes, his marriage suffered. Yes.
Ah, okay. So there you go. So there's the answer to it,
So
right?
not the number seven not being there.
So we will
For
get to know.
Spiritual teaching.
Right.
huh? But even number four is occult science. Yeah. So four works because of his on the spiritual path.
Okay, okay.
So when we come to missing numbers, that is in remedies, and I don't want to speak about remedies yet, like I said before, right? That you have missing numbers, so we're going to decode the grid with missing numbers, so you understand what they are. Okay, but if I speak about remedies now, then we have challenges. Like I don't want to do that. Okay, you need to understand the whole apple, right? Before you go and plant the seeds. You see? So you need to understand the whole apple. I cannot, it's very difficult for me to give you a remedy for that. But like I said, Master Choa Kok Sui, I'm not sure how it is. I have to take a look at it. But Sapna already decoded it for us and said that yes, his personal life did have a challenge. So it is true. Okay. Okay, so then we have six and five. Excellent combination for banking, finance, stock market. Excellent in business. Very good at communication. They're very good manipulators. Okay, why is it? Because they need to be in business. They need to manipulate, right? Business. A little bit of that is going to happen. Okay. Six and six is a good combination. Again, why? Because Venus and Venus together. Yeah. What is it there? Venus is love. Love. Okay. So they love glamour. They like to look good, stay clean. So I have a friend who's a six and a one actually. He loves wearing expensive clothes, and he loves looking good, and he drives a Mercedes, and he's like, everything has to be tip top shape. Okay, himself and his house and everything has to be tip top shape. His mother always gets mad at him. Why are you going and wasting your money everywhere? But he's not had a shortage of money, right? So that's the power of number six. Okay. um Number six and six, they need to avoid arguments. Okay. Chances of marital affairs, why? Now that's very simple. It makes sense. Venus and Venus, too much love. Yeah. So there's that chances of them, flirting with another man. They probably I actually did have I had a friend of mine who's a six and six, and I didn't know his life in India. So I actually told him, I said, there are chances of marital affairs. I just wrote to him that. And I said, you've had chances of marital affairs, so just be careful. Don't veer away from your relationship. He's like, oh, don't say that. He says, I did have that when I was in India, when you didn't know me. I was like, oh. So when I say these things are very accurate to a certain degree, okay, they've got some accuracy to it. So yes. So when I say that, just sometimes 10% might not be, but if you look at it, quite often they do. Sometimes even people hide it under the sheets, and it is true when you really look at their lives. Okay. Uh, so what happens is, what I mean by stay clean is sometimes when they say Jupiter is uh, in Vedic astrology, we say Jupiter is in a bad state, right? So sometimes what happens is that they're not cleaning themselves, they're not, bathing themselves, they're dirty. So what happens is that Jupiter is ruined, right? For some reason, something is happening, right? So there are chances of that happening with them here, okay? They may have arguments with the opposite sex, okay? 6 and 7 is a good combination. They love music, they love art, theater, poetry. They're good in sports, okay? They're very good in sports. They're very intelligent. They speak very clearly, okay? um Basically their thing is they need to avoid trying to be the boss because they want to be the boss, okay? um they're very good at contributing in the household to the families, etc., because it's a family oriented number, okay? Chances of loneliness, again, why? Because of number 7, okay? Number 7, they might be emotionally lonely, they might be still married, but emotionally they are lonely, right? So loneliness does not always come in, it comes in many forms, right? You might have so many people around you but you still feel very lonely, okay? Then 6 and 8 is an average combination, okay? uh They would do very good in high-end education. What does that mean now? You're probably wondering what that means. Because of the number 6 is luxury, you know, they love luxury. So say for example they're a teacher. So instead of them going and working in at Greenwood, they're better off working at Braben because they make more money. So when I say high-end education is, they shouldn't veer away from getting a job at somewhere like Braven, for example, right? That is just an example that I'm giving you, okay? They would do good if they owned a beauty parlor or something like that, okay? um they have challenges balancing their lives, okay? They're very, very smart. What I mean by balancing their lives is their work life balance, okay? They're very smart, very intelligent, okay? And they need to work out. Number 8 again needs to sweat, okay? Number 8 has to sweat. 8 and 9, they have to sweat, okay? Number 8, they have to sweat to get whatever they want, okay? Number 9 has to sweat because they're aggressive. If they don't work out, they will have other issues, okay? Health issues in the future, etc., etc. Emotional, because they're very aggressive, right? So they need to calm their bodies down, they need to calm their mind down, okay? If you're 6 in your destiny, then you should get into the stock market, okay? uh Travel internationally and relocation is good. Internationally does not always mean um you know go to like Canada, come to Canada. Internationally, meaning if you live in Kenya and you're in Mombasa, maybe move to Nairobi, right? Maybe move to Kisumu or, Lake Victoria or something like that, right? That's the, in the olden times, if you read the Lal Kitab is actually used by a lot of the Jyotish and stuff like that. It's a book that if you really want to get into more deep into numerology and Vastu and Vedic astrology and stuff, you should get the Lal Kitab. Okay, it's expensive though, but don't get it if it's not something of interest, because the Lal Kitab actually gives you a lot of remedies. But before you take those remedies, like I said before, understand, right? Understand the symptoms before you take those remedies. Don't take all the remedies, okay? So when they say internationally, at that time when the Lal Kitab was written, they would say they're going international, even if they're just going from one province to the other, right? They would say Pardes, right? So they would say, that's what they would say, right? Relocation is good for a number 6. chances of extramarital affairs are high, which I mentioned before. They would be very good in sports, get into high-end products. Okay, so again, same thing, high-end school, high-end products, because number six is what? Venus. Number six loves luxury, high-end stuff. Okay. If personality is six, your chances of relocation overseas is higher at a young age. Okay. If destiny is six, you will relocate easily after 35. Now you understand why, right? 35, before 35, right? You're still in your personality. After 35, generally you get into your destiny, 35, 40 time, right? They're very manipulative. They may cheat or lie, okay? May have multiple affairs, which, as I mentioned, okay? Um, these are just little notes where it's okay whether, these are just, this comes from the Lal Kitab, by the way. To improve their number six, generally it is for Vedic astrology to feed, they say, Gai ko chara do, right? Sometimes we would say they used to have stories for people in India where they would say, okay, before you eat the rotli or before you eat the bread, you share it with the cow in your backyard, right? Because what is the cow related with? Is it's related with Shankar Bhagwan, right? And also with Krishna Bhagwan, correct? So you give it to the cow, okay? And then respect your parents and your wife to keep this good. Basically, it's your Venus, right? So when you look at your Vedic astrology, they ask you that if your Venus is not good, then you need to learn to respect, right, your wife and your parents. But in general, this should be a normal trait for all of us. Okay. Then we get into Ketu. So we're going to do Ketu and we'll leave because it's already 11:15. So we'll do Ketu and then we will move on for our next class. Okay. So ruling planet is Ketu for number seven. Okay. And seven is 7, 16, 25. Now, did we do karmic numbers? If you remember, number 16 is a karmic number. You remember. Okay. Good. So 16, I'm a 16 actually. So my beef is with God, direct, one-way ticket with God. So maybe in my last life, more than likely, I probably did something or I did something wrong to some temple or some church or something that I did that I shouldn't have, right? So this lifetime, I had to come back to come and teach this, imagine, right? So 7 and 1 is a good combination, neutral combination. Okay. Again, occult science, seven, any sevens would be very good in occult science. Why? Because they're very intuitive and they think from their heart. Okay. But always remember number seven, deceit and disappointment. Okay. You will be taken for a ride very easily. You will share your money with somebody, you will not get the money back. So don't even expect that money to come back. Okay. That is the thing with number seven. Okay. Occult science, spirituality, because they're very connected to spirituality. Okay. 7 and 2 is below average because they have again you've got two things with that. Okay. There is number two is emotional. Okay. And also number two things from the heart as well, right, is a motherly figure. And then you got Ketu without a head, so there you got double there, right? So the chances of depression, emotional issues, right, because you've got deceit, um and disappointment, and then you've got moodiness. Now imagine what happens with all those three together. You put them in combination, now imagine what happens, right? Any profession will bring them down. The best option is spirituality or occult is very good. Okay. 7 and 3 is a good combination. Okay, so I'm a 7 and 3, by the way. Okay. Any form of teaching with knowledge, occult science, growth, and expansion will come as a teacher. There you go. right? Growth will come with education as a teacher, professor, occult science consultant. Okay. Then we have 7 and 4 is an excellent combination. Success will come easily with when they are doing AI, media, law and order. They can do very good. Now, health issues again, right? We spoke about that in 4 and 7. Okay. On the grid, you should have a double four. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is we will get to that when we get to repeating numbers. Okay. These are just notes. Keep an eye if you or somebody has that. Keep an eye so you can understand what that means. Okay. Health issues again. Ha bolo.
Just a question. So if somebody has, like you said, grid, says number 7, yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, but that 4 you're saying only if the combination is 7 and 4, yeah, and that 4
Four
should
and
be in
seven,
double.
even we said. We even said about 4 and 7 health issues. 7 and 4. Sometimes, if you look at these numbers, they're interswitchable, and sometimes not. Okay, yeah. So we talked about even in 4 and 7 is the same thing we wrote. Yeah. So they will have some health issues. Okay. 5 and 4 is good combination. Stay physical. Why? Because number 5 likes eating. Number 5 enjoys all these is a prince, right? So what is a prince's job? He enjoys to be taken care of. Okay. So basically number 5 needs to stay physically active. They Why do they receive betrayal? Number 7. Okay. Deceit, dishonesty, people will betray. Number 7, people will take advantage of them. Okay. uh they would do good in business. Okay, why? Because of number 5. Okay, sales and marketing, banking, bakery, all those. Okay, 7 and 6, excellent combination. Gold, silver, media. Why? Because of number 6. Okay, they would do very good in fashion, international relations, occult science, right? Good. They would do great. They would get knowledge, right? From sports, they would do sports, they would do very well as well. If 6 comes from 24, okay, now these are certain numbers that I'd mentioned last class, that certain numbers we keep an eye on. Okay, then there will be a relationship issue. Okay, right? um they may have distant relationships, but they should avoid having them. It says don't have distant relationships, as in, Mombasa, Nairobi type of thing, or Mombasa, Dar es Salaam. That's distant relationships. They don't live in the same space, right? Um, yeah, Hema, go ahead.
Sorry, are you talking about because of the combination of 2 and 4 to make it a 6? Is that the clash?
Right, 2 and 4, exactly.
Mhm.
You got it. Okay, so when was it you or who asked about the 36, the 3 and 6?
Yeah,
It
I
was
did.
you.
The
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah. Same thing. So whenever you're looking at your personality destiny, you are also looking at those numbers as well, right? The 2 and 4,
Okay. So when you
four
add
and
like comes
two,
to other
3 and 6.
bits of,
Yeah,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
Okay,
right.
good. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay. So those will give you an indication into their personal life, their personality, etc. Okay. 7 and 7 is below average. There's disappointment and betrayal in relationships, health, finance, divorce, multiple marriages, whatever it may be. You give it to them, and they've got it. Okay. 7 and 7 is why 7 is a number for deceit and disappointment. Okay, right? They get cheated very easily, though they are very emotional. They're very good at occult science. They're very intuitive, right? So there are pros and cons. Like every number has got its pros and cons. Okay, but you put two of them together, or 7 and 7, there's going to be a little bit of trouble there. Okay, like if you lend money, they shouldn't lend money to anybody. Number sevens should avoid lending money to anybody. Okay, if they want to lend money, Ask them to ask somebody else to get a second opinion before they lend their money, because their money will not show up back. And I'm full proof of it. I will tell you full proof. It has happened to me here. It has happened to me in Kenya. Full proof. Okay. So number seven will get cheated when it comes to money very easily. Okay. So be very careful with number seven. Okay. Because number seven is not number seven has disconnected. You know, when you look at meditation or anything like that, they ask you to disconnect, right? So they've disconnected from certain things when it comes to to life. Okay, you will find that for number seven. So number seven should avoid lending money or anything to do with that. Okay. Okay, seven and eight. Why now? Lots of issues, struggles, hard work, delays, hard work, law and order, occult. They would do good in occult science and banking. Okay, good in occult again. But why do I say lots of issues and struggle? Number eight. Okay, shane shane, slowly, slowly. Everything will come slowly, slowly. Everything will come slowly, slowly. Now you've got number seven, where deceit, disappointment, people taking advantage of you. You've got number seven. Okay. Then you've got seven and nine. Seven and nine is considered below average, though they would do very good in sports. Okay. Why? Because of number nine. Okay. Number nine does very good at sports. So if you find your personal trainer, number nine would do very good. If they're active, they're a coach in something, number nine would do very good, right? Somewhere where they sweat. Okay. Number nine, good at all those things. Okay. um because it's related to the fire element, so they've got, like, they would do very good as a chef, cooking. They would do very good in the metal industry. They would not do good in banking. Okay, why? Because of number seven. Again, they've got deceit and disappointment. Number seven, so avoid banking. Okay. So what are the issues with number seven? Anyone with a number seven personality is issues with relationships. They would do good in occult science. Get easily betrayed. So number seven, again, get easily betrayed. Issues with leg or shoulder issues. So anything below the body. Okay, this is head, right? Which is Rahu, Ketu. Okay, so issues with leg or shoulder issues, migraines, or asthma issues. Now, migraines are obviously related to, if there's anything to do with your stomach, it affects your brain. Yeah, so there are certain things that happen, right? Asthma, okay, issues. So, asthma. Seven is like a question mark. So if you really look at number seven, it looks like a question mark, right? Just doesn't have a dot at the bottom, right? Yeah. So the thing with number seven is they always doubt themselves. Okay. So they always question, they'll do something and then they'll question themselves. Sometimes you will find number sevens. If any of your number seven, you're like, okay, I did this, but I've already done it. Did I do it right? Am I sure? You will question yourself a lot. Sometimes they'll question themselves quite a bit. Okay. So that is number seven. That's a good indication that explains to you, right? Sometimes they get very confused again because they're questioning, right? They change the professions every few years. So what is number seven's issue? This is a number seven thing, by the way. Okay, every 3-4 years they want to change something to something new. They just want to change, right? If they don't stick in what they do, they will not succeed. So it is very important that they stick to what they do. Okay, so that is one thing about number seven. They will not succeed if they keep changing their profession, because it's like you get traction and then you let go. You get traction and then you let go. You can't do that. Okay. um they need to make a decision and take a lifetime to prove it. Okay, so if you look at there's actually, this is something that Ratan Tata had said, that I will make my decision and I will do something and I'll take a lifetime to prove that I'm right. Okay, so that is something that when I was writing that, that's something that came from there. Okay, number seven, they have a hard time apologizing, by the way. They cannot say sorry. Okay, so that is it for today. We are going to move to 8 and 9, and then we will do decoding the grids and repeating numbers and stuff. So if we are able to get into repeating numbers in the next class, I would suggest please make sure you create your Losho grid, okay, so that we can see the repeating numbers, okay, and go over them. Okay. And otherwise, any other questions? Are we good? We're good? Can we end
Farzana,
the bolo.
in the book that you have, this leaflet. Sorry, this is my printout.
Huh?
There's number 8 and 9 missing here. I think this is the. Yeah,
You don't
Sapna,
have
just
8 in there?
guys, just check. Yeah, yeah. What is this? Hang on a minute. Is the traits of personality numbers in number 8 and 9 is blank. There's nothing written there.
Where are you looking here?
The traits of personality number, that um
This one here?
traits of personality number 8 and 9 is blank. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I will write that down so that when I go over it with you, I will make sure you have that. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And it will be good anyways. You get a chance to write rather than read what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Because a lot of things, if you notice when I talk to you, there's some things that are not written, right?
Yeah.
On there,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So it's always good because then you can write it in your own words as well.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we're going to go to number 8, right? Which is Saturn. And we will do that in the next class because it's already 11:30. And I'm sure you guys also, it's pretty late for you guys as well. What is it, like 10:30 there? 10:30. Yeah. So I will stop the recording. Okay.